Swell Academy here. Welcome to Monday Make It. Today we're talking about parallel lines, skew lines, and then looking at same thing, intersecting parallel skew planes. Actually, can't have skew planes, but just what's this whole idea of parallel skew intersecting with lines and planes? I think the first thing we want to look at is just a simple plane here, a surface, a flat surface that extends in all directions. We have a plane. It's kind of an angle. Think of it like a floor. And we have this idea of parallel, in a sense, two lines that lie on the same plane that will not intersect. And what's important about these is that these two lines are both part of the floor. They both lie on this basically bottom floor, let's say. So this is what we think as parallel. Now the key is same plane, right? They don't intersect, but they're on the same plane. Now you can think of something skew is, yes, if you look at this green line, and maybe we'll use this same line here that we used previously, this purple line here. Yes, these are not going to intersect, but they do not lie on the same plane. Basically, they're going in different directions. They're askew. Parallel, they're going the same direction. It'd be like if I was on one street and then I was one block over on another street, two people could be driving same direction, same distance, right next to each other, never intersect, where someone could be driving north and south while another person's driving east and west. Yes, they're not going to intersect, but they are skew. A lot of people, you could just, maybe that's the way you pronounce it, skew. It is not skew. This is not how you pronounce that. That's common. And so that's your idea of parallel and skew. Of course, it's simple to see something that's intersecting. That's where you have two lines that meet and intersect at a point. Now, when you're looking at, I like to just draw a cube here, put a little point in the middle of that square, and draw a congruent cube and connect top left, bottom right, top right, and you can make yourself a cube here. Now, when we look at parallel, you're looking at maybe the right side and the left side of this cube. These are parallel planes, two planes that will not intersect. Now, you don't have to think about, are they on the same plane? Are they not on the same plane? Because they are planes. This is your idea of now, something that intersects with both these planes is this green bottom piece here. So the green and purple would intersect, but the greens would be parallel and maybe the greens would be intersecting, and their intersection is a line here. And so that's your kind of idea, intersecting, what's intersecting with each. Now let's just look at a couple examples if we were to have they were actually give us cubes. So let's look at lines here, and maybe we'll look at an example of skew being this line here, and maybe this line here. Now what you're thinking here is, okay, this FG, it's part of the, I like to do this in color, it's part of the bottom piece and the side piece. Those are the two planes it's connected to, whereas this back corner here is part of the back piece and this left piece here. So we would say the green is skew because they don't intersect, but they are not on the same plane. Now, if you wanted to look at something parallel, well, then you would just simply say, okay, I need to have something on the same plane. So this line and let's say this line, which was once skewed to another line, these two lines would be parallel because they're both part of that right side of the box, both part of that plane there. And you could say, okay, what's a line that would intersect with BC? Well, you could use, let me grab a different color, like maybe blue. You could use this BF or this CG to intersect here at this point. So when you're looking at skew lines, It's something that won't intersect. Let's look at this pyramid here. Something that won't intersect ON, but is on a different plane. K and M, they do not intersect, but they are not parallel because they're not on the same plane. This purple piece, I like to go over. This purple piece is part of this plane, and this bottom piece where this other purple piece is part of this front and this right piece here. So those are like, that's another example here of skew. They're not intersecting, and I like to show you this on a pyramid, and they're not on the same plane. Now something parallel, well, that's simple. Just grab any two lines that are on the same plane. Okay, the greens, those are parallel. They're on the bottom slide or bottom piece of the pyramid. Also these left and right, ON and LM, you could say those are parallel. They're both part of the bottom piece. And then any of these lines that intersect at a point, maybe let's grab orange, maybe KO and KN. Those are some lines you could say were intersecting. Now we will look at some planes, same shapes, but here we're looking at an example maybe of parallel planes. So maybe we're going to look at, I like to look at this box, the left side of the box. Maybe I could grab a highlighter here. The left side of this box and the right side of this box, that we would say is parallel planes. They're not going to intersect, but it's a little different than lines because you're just looking at basically opposite pieces here. You also have in green this top and bottom, as I like to call it, and then the front and back piece here as you're following along. Got maybe too many colors at this point, but you can see it. Maybe I'll go back to using a pen for this point here and this point here as far as being the back piece. Those are your parallel pieces there. Anything intersecting, again, that's just find any two planes, maybe this top one here and this side one here, any two planes that are going to meet and intersect at a line like BC here. This would be your intersecting planes. And if you're going to talk about the intersecting planes, you could say ABC intersects with, you could say FG, just use the line BCF. Just pick any three letters from this side piece and this top piece. And same thing when you're doing parallel. Let's maybe just look at these two parallel left and right side. Your ADH here is parallel to maybe FGB. So maybe those two, you would say just any 3 points you're picking. And then, this is cool because there's our parallel, our intersecting planes. Actually, in this case, are these intersecting because they're intersecting at a point here. Could you say that those are intersecting? Well, they say two parallel planes intersect at a point. So can you say that these are planes or maybe surfaces? Well, if the definition for parallel planes is intersect, the two parallel planes intersect to form a line, then no, you cannot say that these are parallel. Maybe you would say these surfaces intersect. But if you're going to say that two parallel planes or two intersecting planes intersect at a point, then okay, maybe you could say that. Otherwise, in this pyramid, there are no parallel planes. There's only intersecting planes. And you have this last little diagram, which I like, where you have, let's say, a set of skew lines. I'm going to stick to the highlighter ED here, and maybe this was F. Those two lines, not on the same plane and don't intersect, but you could say maybe E, D, and BC. That's an example of parallel. And then as far as surfaces go, you could say, I would say that these two surfaces are parallel, but are they planes? Right? You need three non-collinear points. So yes, I could say maybe that these are parallel planes. And I like this little idea of this piece here and this front piece. Let's use a different color. This front piece here. I like this idea of them intersecting at this line here, basically this piece of cheese example. So some food for thought as far as intersecting planes, but for the most part, parallel, they're not going to intersect. We did look at lines and planes. And so I hope this helps. Keep working hard. The more you fail, the more you succeed. See you in the next episode.